Alrighty, Pie Nation, happy Taco Tuesday to you. I have some very important, some very legendary people in the room with me. Billiam, Mr. Eric, say what's up to Pie Nation.
How we doing today?
Hey, Pye Nation.
We are here. Obviously, last week we had our DT6 bi-weekly AMA. We did host it at a different time, so not everybody was able to join in, and that's okay. We wanted to make sure that we could talk to each and every one of you guys and just take some questions. So as you guys know, we let this out on the calendar last week. If you have your questions ready, you can raise your hand. We'll bring you up on stage here. We have Mr. Justin, videographer, in the room with us as well.
Yo!
Justin's here. It's a party in the office today. We're just super excited. Bill and Eric, first full week back in after the Dominican Republic. How was that for you guys?
It was really good.
Well, it's one of those things when you go to something like that, you're not going to a conference, right? You're going to a forum where most of the people that are in attendance, and it wasn't, I'd say maybe 200 people.
I think it was 200, yeah.
150 to 200 people or so. And it's very intimate. It's you meet a lot of faces that you may have heard of or you know of, and so you get to know people on a different level, which was probably the most exciting part for Eric and I, was being able to really talk to people and have conversations with people that we wouldn't typically be able to have in real life, which was I'd say one of my favorites. Well, obviously one of the favorites was talking to the El Presidente there. And then, having conversation about government and how government working with the decentralized world and how they could get, their next steps as to how to engage with that world and be a part of that world. So that was a great conversation. And we're definitely going to be moving forward with, trying to assist in any way we can from this side. But the biggest one that I enjoyed was the director of the U.S. Treasury. She was awesome. And I think I spent hours and hours one night, right? It was Tuesday night, I think, Eric. Mm-hmm. Just kind of walking through, blockchain and how the decentralized world and how they're approaching it was what I would consider the wrong approach. And I kind of redirected a different optics for how they potentially could get involved and work with the teams that are out there that are doing the things on blockchain, and how those things could be of benefit to all parties, really, and really finding the win-win long-term with memorializing the decentralized piece of it, because that's the whole backdrop to why people truly get interested, I guess you could say, in blockchain, is the decentralization part of it.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that that we encountered and kind of moved people's thinking on was to not fight against decentralization, but to embrace it, mm-hmm. And how to get involved in it and be part of the solution, and right. not the governments that are fighting against it and trying to regulate it and that type of thing. So
yeah, we even had a really good conversation. We've got a intro discussing some matters with the SEC from our U.S. Treasury director. She's been very nice. We've got communication after the fact that which is really good for us. We've got some great ideas, and I think, to what Eric said, working together is the solution. It's not, trying to fit something that doesn't fit into a square hole. It's trying to get it all to work together, and everybody ends up in a great place. We talked about safety. We talked in depth about security. We talked about compliance policies, ways that they could really work with us and us in tandem, unilaterally be able to work on what the best solution is. Because, the biggest problem today, and Eric and I, we talk about this every once in a while. We actually hate it because it's the Wild Wild West. you've just got a lot of bad actors out there. You got a lot of people that are going to do say they're doing something, never doing anything, or just sitting around and starting something up, and after 2 months a hype train goes away and everybody walks away and realizes that the team behind the project was never really going to do anything or produce anything. So we've just got a lot of those little things that really, unfortunately, it trains all the people in the space today to immediately go to that as the norm. And we need to change that. And that's something that we got pretty in depth about, the scams, a lot of these, connecting wallets to specific help desks and things like that come through on Discords and all that kind of stuff. And so there's ways that things can be put in place that are considered safety measures. And so we feel our conversation with them was really beneficial. And actually, I don't want to get too deep into what's going to happen next with our contacts over there, because until it's officially happening and we're working with them on that level, I'll bring everybody up to speed as we engage, moving forward with that. But we want to be a team that they can look at and they can say, this is a proof of concept. This is a team, a project. It's built with the policies and compliances that we on a regulatory level would like to have seen, and we would request all projects to do the same. But they need a proof of concept, and I think we immediately got their attention, and we offered to possibly be the proof of concept. So we'll be talking more about it as it evolves. And at this point, again, like I said, we're engaging at a very high level actually with them, and I think it's going to be great.
Definitely, and shout out Raymond for making those connects happen and getting everybody out there.
Yes.
I'm going to reset the room just a little bit. Like I said at the beginning, we are here to ask us anything, AMA style. So at the bottom of your Discord screen, you can raise your hand, pop them up there. If you've been holding those questions, we're ready for you. But Eric, what's something that we've been working on, your team's been working on that you're really excited for and that, Pye Nation should get ready for?
Oh my goodness. So we are finishing some creators for Pye Lab that will roll out very shortly here. And we are doing a final iteration of Pye Swap. Once those two things are done, which is going to come faster than you think, then we're ready to push mainstream on Pye Swap and Pye Lab and start getting some other projects in and getting some volume rolling on Pye Swap. So that's really been my main focus for a bit, and really looking forward to finalizing that and getting rolling on that.
Awesome. Look, I see a couple hands up. First, I'm going to call on Kim. Bring you up here with us. Get you going. Oh, I threw him back in. There you go. Accept that. There you go. What's going on, brother? Might be me. You hear us all right? You're on stage. All right, hold on. I'm going to bring you back up here. We're going to go to DeLiz real quick. We'll bring DeLiz up, and then Ekim, I'll bring you back up on stage. I'll invite you there. All right, DeLiz, you're on stage with us. How's it going today?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Nice. Okay, so I have a quick question about the Pye chain. So, what is the long-term vision for Pye chain?
The long-term vision for Pye chain.
Yeah, so I don't know how comfortable Eric is revealing the framework behind the chain yet. He's given me the head shake. So the vision, I can tell you the vision without breaking out the actual technical the technical pieces behind it. But What I guess I could say this without saying it, but the way that Pye Chain is built is it's built to be a unique offering of blockchain that is going to be a high compatibility with the real world that exists today. There's a lot of hardware devices. There's a lot of things out there technology wise that have been, have been built up to this point where Solidity is really the framework that is behind the current blockchains, most of the blockchains out there, and its compatibility, its ability to be built upon. A lot of it needs bridges, a lot of it in order for it to be compatible with the real world, I guess you could say, because the real world is built in a completely different code language, and that being done that way has really cost a massive bridge that needs to be built across all of these different pieces to build full, true compatibility. And what Pye Chain is looking to do is to really avoid the issue that sits in front of the adoptable real world into blockchain technology. So currently today, with Solidity being the main driver, I guess you can say, behind blockchain for the most part, you're seeing a lot of issues with having enough bandwidth or resource that can actually build and can really develop at scale, at mass scale, to be able to start to transition and even put true connectivity between what's out there now and what people would like to see out there and what they would like to see on the blockchain. So what Pye Chain is going to do is it's going to not only bridge the gap between that, but it's also going to accelerate true compatibility almost in a plug and play fashion with what's out there in the real world today. The goal is to connect and not require there's probably 10, 15 million really good, certified, amazing developers in the world that develop on current devices and technology that's out there today. And there's maybe, if we're lucky, 100 to 200 certified Solidity developers in the world. Maybe there's 1,000 that could potentially build any sort of unique code that's going to be above and beyond what's already been built. And there's maybe 10,000 total Solidity developers in the world that can fork what's already been built and rename it and call it something else, package it up and push it back out. So you can see the massive disconnect between the potential scaling of what's out there today with connectivity to the blockchain. So the vision is to drive mass adoption, but it's going to be through the IoT. It's going to be through current software that's out there. It's in different code languages that doesn't connect to Solidity, but can be connected to Solidity if it were, had a more of a compatibility and didn't require a bridge. So if you only got about maybe 1,000 people in the world that could build all these bridges versus 15 million developers that already exist that are building out there today, that's going to become a massive problem, and it's going to take a lot longer. The lead time runway is going to just need to be a lot longer. But for Pye Chain, we hope to avoid that. We hope to actually be the solution, the one solution that's out there that everybody adopts immediately and really embraces and sees the opportunity that if they want to go that route, it's not going to require 6 months to a year or 3 months worth of development time. It's going to maybe require a plug and play and a framework that's going to give them immediate ability to move forward quickly.
And with different chains out there, I mean, you have different hurdles. You got speed of transactions. You got the cost of transactions with gas. You've got the ease of development, and you've got security. So we are tackling each one of these things to bring first to market multiple things with this Pye Chain that we're developing.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, we're not reinventing the wheel, but we are making what's out there better, faster, more secure,
compatible,
and cheaper with better compatibility. So I mean that's our goal, and that's what we've been working on.
Well, and to Eric's point, one of the biggest things, and we know there's other smaller blockchains out there. We know that there's some that are doing really unique things when it comes to kind of how they do their proof of stake and how they operate and transact and all that. But we're kind of going to put a lot of the features that are going to be involved in Pye Chain, and our goal is to at least be at the best place possible when it comes to each metric on a blockchain that is already out there, at least competes at the same level, if not better than what's best right now in blockchain. And then the difference that we'll make is its compatibility is really going to be off the charts compared to anything else that's
ease
out
of
there.
Development for third party,
right,
and integrations.
There we go.
Okay, thank you. And also, do you have a time frame?
Yeah, it'll be 2023. Our goal is to get it right, and we've learned a lot of lessons over the last year and a half, and our first thing that we're very big on right now is just making sure that when we get to a point where we can start doing testing and whatnot, obviously do it, go through the correct processes and utilize the correct test groups, and have, including our current community, be engaged and involved in, making sure that it's ready for us to do an official public launch. And it'll be in 2023. Exactly when, it's just really going to depend on a lot of factors. But there's a lot of testing that goes into when you're doing something that's a little bit off the norm. It's not like we just go out there and fork Ethereum or another Avalanche or any of those. We're actually building from the ground up. This is a full organic build. This is not a let's go copy and paste.
Yeah, and I think we put that also in the roadmap. And as we follow through on the roadmap and keep moving through and forward, I know we'll be bringing a lot more information in there, especially with maybe some specific voice chats on the Pye chain itself. So you can check out the roadmap there on the Gitbook or in the Discord.
Nice. Keep up the good work, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. I see Akeem with his hand back up. Want to remind everybody in the audience while I bring him up here, if you have any questions for myself, Bill, Eric, heck, maybe you got a question for Justin.
Yeah, let's get Justin.
Ask him where the YouTube videos are at. But Akeem, you're up on the stage with us, bus.
So can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm driving in the Catskill Mountains, so if it goes wonky, just get rid of me. I had a quick question. Do you have any updates that you could share with us about ETH side of Pye? Are we going to get like an indication of, even if volume's low, about how much ETH we might have coming towards us or anything like that, like we have on the B says that we might not know yet.
So if I can make out what you said, because you were kind of chopping
Those
in
mountains
and
are killing you, my friend.
Yeah, I think he might have ended up.
We heard the first part.
Yeah, we heard the gist of it.
Yeah, we heard that you want all the ETH in the world, and we're no, actually, yes. So ETH, the Ethereum side, yes. We one thing that I think a lot of times it's people are kind of looking at all the different pieces of the puzzle and what's going on. But I just want to make sure that we're clear on kind of the whole thing across all the things in the Pye ecosystem right now. We are, and I don't know that people really realize this or they understand it, but we're really, really big right now on making sure that we're going to be ready to really hit the button and get going on that. And so in order for that to happen, you saw Pye.net got fixed, and we've got the whole new website design. You're seeing Pye Swap getting completely redesigned on user experience. Right now,
just a quick aside on Pye Swap.
I was just going to say that. I know what you're going to say, but I'll let you say it.
So Pye Swap is just going to be one URL. It's just going to be pyeswap.com. That's going to happen again super fast as we finish up these couple things we're working on. But you connect with your ETH wallet, you'll trade in the ETH. You connect with your BSC, you'll trade in BSC. So that's coming as well. So there won't be two different URLs.
Right. So we're pretty darn close to the finish line, I would say, on everything.
Yep.
For us to really go out, start pushing this stuff on Ethereum side and on the BSC side. Because I think people are disconnecting the two as like they're two separate things for us. They fall in the same category as Pye Swap, right? So everyone's thinking, well, BSC is going to get volume, and Pye Swap or ETH's not going to get volume. What we do need to realize is that we are going to go out there and a broad approach, drive marketing to Pye Swap. We're going to be driving marketing actually to Pye.net. One of the biggest things that people are kind of, I don't want to say missing, but people forget really quickly that, we've marketed cryptos before. We've done a damn good job of marketing crypto before. And, when we turn that switch on and we start driving new people into our project, as long as everything is ready and it's at the best possible standard that it needs to be, we're going to turn some heads. And we know what we have and what we have available to work with. And at this point, once we've wrapped up the final, I think right now it's token creator on PyLab. That's the last thing there. And that actually is super damn close. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so the plan is we got token creator on PyLab. We got a final tweak on Pye Swap.
Right.
Both those things are going to go to audit this week.
Right. And then we've got, following that, we've got other stuff. But we're not waiting for the other stuff. The other thing to keep in mind was chart. The charts for Pye Swap on the routing system. We were dealing with, obviously a lot of people see compatibility is everything, but comfort zone for people is extremely important, right?
It is.
And a lot of people would go look at our chart on Dex Screener, or they'd look at our chart somewhere else, and they would go, wait a minute, why is it jumping up 10, 20%, dropping down 20%? It's just a zigzag. It looks like someone's heart rate, right? And so the problem we have with going out there and spending marketing money and driving into business to business, which is our developer groups, and getting them to jump on board is they're looking at it going, that's just another thing that doesn't necessarily fit with the standard that people are used to today. So what did we do? We fixed it, and we've got the fix. Tommy's a perfectionist, so he wants it down to the last little 0.001.
Just to make sure everyone's on the same page. I mean, the reason our chart moves like that is the way that we take the fees.
The fees, correct.
So the fees are taken out before, they're taken out after the swaps based upon if you're buying or selling, so that we get that base token instead of the tokens, the project tokens, and then have to swap.
Right.
Those.
No, it's something that has been there since the routing system was built. It's just one of those things that as we were starting to talk and have conversations with people, a lot of these things start to stick out and stand out. And that was one of them. Another one of them is getting listed on CMC and CG, which
that's huge.
I know the tokens are getting listed. One, we just got CG listed, and now we should be any day now on CMC for the tokens themselves. And then the exchange Pye Swap is in process and has been submitted, and we're pushing as hard as we possibly can with our contacts there, because it's a little different. I don't think people understand. Everyone's like, well, why can't you get on CMC and CG? Well, it's not about us not getting the tokens on there. That's the easy part. The hardest part is getting them to go through their approach and systematic issues that they look at to make sure that before they list an exchange on their service, that they verify the code, they check the security, they check a lot of different pieces of the exchange before they just arbitrarily list you as an exchange on both of those sites. So that is what Pye Swap is up against, and it's in the process. We should hopefully have a completion shortly, as soon as possible. We're pushing as hard as we can, and we will continue to push until it actually shows up there. But that's just the other piece or standard that we've been working on for quite some time now. But we had to kind of wait until we fixed a lot of these issues to resubmit, because when we went through and fixed the charting, which is now actually done, now it's getting in the audit process. When we fixed the charting, it definitely changed enough of the structure that was in the code base for a complete audit that needed to be done. So we're doing everything systematically by the book, and I'm actually getting excited because we're now we're right there. We're right there at this point. Our team is ready. We're excited. We're ready. We've got multiple strategies that we've already gone through, both from marketing Pye, the project, to marketing Pye Swap, the platform, to marketing all the way through Pye Lab and Pye Lab's services that it's going to offer. We've got everything lined up. So we're right there. We're right on the cusp. It just doesn't, anybody that understands marketing understands that it'd be like, if you're not 100% there, it's like taking that money and just trying to push hard to something, and you can't really fulfill at a level that they're going to expect. And we have to be at a world-class level for them to not only look at it and get excited, but look at it and adopt it, trust it, believe in it, and know that this is the future. And this is what's going to drive the token space into 2023. It is going to change how tokenomics have ever been done for tokens across all of crypto. And it's going to give us the opportunity to continue to expand. Marketing Pixel is really the next thing that is the next evolution. It's the next catalyst outside of what you guys are going to be seeing wrap up here in the next week or so. And that's what we get excited about. Is it's one thing gets done. We're out there now marketing, strategies are in place and implemented, and we're already waiting only a short period of time, and then the next catalyst is going to hit. Now all of a sudden the marketing pixel's out. And then you talk about revolutionizing the tokenomics side. Now we just revolutionize the data and analytics side, which is they're one thing after another. You guys, huge. When this stuff starts hitting and you start realizing what we meant by our priorities list and systematically pushing this stuff out the right way, and that's what we've been doing. And that's what you're going to start to see it once we start marketing. You start bringing new faces in. We start bringing in people into Pye Swap, bringing them back into Pye Lab, and then all of a sudden, Marketing Pixel, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and the next thing. So lots of really good things there. But back to your Ethereum question. I know I kind of went a little off on a tangent, but back to your Ethereum question, you're going to see volume kicking into Ethereum. Metatopia, the Topia token, will be trading on Pye Swap. So that's going to drive some volume into Ethereum Pye side of Pye or Pye Swap. And then we've got a handful of developers out there that I've already spoken to that are looking at the Ethereum side as well. So everything is lined up. Again, we're just waiting for the audit, and then we will deploy the Ethereum side for the routing system for charts to make sure that the way that the router is displaying the information into the charting systems is what people are used to. It's not going to have these crazy 20% jumps and ups and downs. It's just going to be able to display the accuracy of the information.
Sweet. And I got a BA here with the hand up. I'm going to bring you up on stage with us.
I'll take my call. Hear me?
There you are. What's going on?
Excellent. Kind of a basic question, but if I'm asking, it's probably others have. I've been in since the beginning, first few weeks of Cream Pie, my first crypto purchase ever. Really believed in what the team was doing, still do. Invested heavily in Pie and Moonforce and all of that. My goals were Pie Swap volume, BNB rewards, ultimately getting myself on the Pie chain. The part I'm struggling with as a middle-aged guy with a full-time job and kids and all that is figuring out how the NFT side figures in. I'm not a gamer. I have no experience with NFTs. So, I guess my question is how critical a piece is this on the journey? And for folks like me that just don't really have a huge capacity to deeply dive into the NFT side, aside from the founders passes I scooped up proudly. Kind of what is your guys, if not advice, what is your perspective on all of that?
Well, it's a great question. And I think to understand the strategy behind the NFT side and the NFT space, and really what role it plays in the bigger picture of the ecosystem, right now you have two different spaces. You have the token space and you've got the NFT space. Investors are entirely different people. They are crypto people and token people, and that group of investors and community members are typically not. I mean, there are crossovers, and there's maybe, I'd say, from what I can see or tell, it's maybe 10 to 15% of those people maybe cross over into the NFT space. The NFT space is an entirely different audience, and they are really very, very limited when it comes to tokens, when it comes to even understanding crypto. Really, I know that sounds bizarre, but to them, NFTs is what they've engaged in, and that's kind of their comfort level. And so our goal with the NFT space was to bring Swap 2.0 technology, introduce it to that space, because there's a lot of serious issues on the NFT side. And the issues is you see a lot of operators, you see a lot of developers that are out there, they're dropping a token as part of an airdrop or part of some sort of, special utility that is going to be provided by the project for the people that are the holders of those NFTs. And every single one of those turns into a hype deal, and then it tanks and people get frustrated, and you're seeing that space start to really misunderstand the potential of what can be done with these tokens. And so what bringing Swap 2.0 to that space fixes a lot of the issues that we've seen in the NFT world. A lot of those are with play to earn games. Wolf game is one of the biggest ones in the NFT space. It's one of the most popular, and it has gone as high as 60 cents, and it's gone as low as now a penny. But it's because the token has no logic built into it. It is not built as it should have been built, or with any sort of mechanisms built into it that allows it to not only be a healthy token, but to really be able to achieve the results that they were looking for when they built their blockchain game called Wolf Game. So that's just one example, but there's 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 of those different ones in the NFT space that are causing people to get sour on the idea of a token. And so bringing this to the NFT space opens up not only the door for the existing people that have already tried to cross over from NFTs into crypto, but for these developers and operators in the NFT space to get enough comfortable confidence that they could actually provide a utility that works for their project, but do it in a way that is going to actually benefit their project. And by bringing Legacy Friends, now Metatopia and Topia token, it really showcases Swap 2.0 to the NFT world. We are going to push Swap 2.0 and market it as a massive, massive opportunity for all projects, including the community members in the NFT space. So the whole vision there and getting into and driving ourselves down that road is the bigger picture, or the role that it plays is to drive more awareness, more attention into people coming back into the Pye ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was one of the biggest things that I got to see at LA at the NFT Expoverse was a lot of the people there that were mainly for NFTs, obviously, as we start talking play to earn games and tokenomics, and they hear about Swap 2.0 and they get to see Pye.net, they really start to see, the NFT space is lacking in development. And so by bringing this technology over there, it's not only going to increase, adoption and bring others and, new eyes into the project, but it's also going to really help volume. We have a lot of awareness. We've already received a big amount of, other projects, other collab managers in these NFT projects that are looking to, onboard their NFT projects or their communities into a Swap 2.0 ecosystem and start playing to earn on a Swap 2.0 router, which only benefits, our holders here as well.
Well, and keep in mind, a lot of those projects are on the Ethereum side. So it's going to help on the Ethereum side, but there is a decent amount, about 15, maybe 20% of the projects we talk to that are on the BSC side as well. So it's not just Ethereum. It's not just the Ethereum Pi ecosystem side. It's going to be across the two chains. For now, it will, eventually cross over into Polygon. It'll eventually cross over into some of these others like Sol.
Ada.
Sol has NFT projects getting dropped on it. Most recently, some bigger projects have actually come out of Sol. So as we do the expansion and allow other chains into Swap 2.0, it's just going to be one of those wildfire things. I've already had somebody reach out to me from a Sol project, an NFT project, that asked if Swap 2.0 was available on their chain. And so we've got people that are looking for this now that the word's starting to get out. You saw the BBs and their AMA and them freaking out and losing their minds over Swap 2.0. I mean, that's the role that this is going to play.
Okay, I appreciate it. That's really helpful. Again, I've gotten to the point where I'm comfortable on the crypto side. I'm all in terms of Dev Team 6 and your projects, but the getting really, really versed and deep in the weeds on the NFT side is just not going to be realistic for me. So I appreciate the info. That's helpful to kind of understand where it all fits in this and helping me feel comfortable in what I have. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. We appreciate you.
All right, so I'm going to take one more question here from the crowd from Mr. Eric. Back on the Pye chain. Will Pye chain be EVM compatible? Not sure what EVM stands for, but maybe you might.
It's Ethereum virtual machine, but absolutely we will have a machine for virtual development on the Pye chain. I mean, that's one of the biggest pieces of the Pye chain. So I mean, the short answer is yes, absolutely.
Boom. Okay. Well, look, quick little one and done. We do have our AMA next week, the bi-weekly. We just wanted to pop in on a Tuesday, say Happy Taco Tuesday, take some community questions. So I think we're going to wrap it up here. Of course, you can catch our daily recap at the end of the day. Stay forward for those in the announcement channel. Bill, Eric, anything else to close out?
We could take one more question if there is any.
I don't see any hands. If anybody's got a hand, throw it up there. We'll bring you up. But I think they're really enjoying the weekly and the daily recaps and the goals and just transparency doesn't seem to be too much. Let's see, I got two here. Let me bring up Hurricane. Hurricane, you're up with us. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
My question is, when is G Money getting his own office?
Oh,
did you pay her for that?
No. I don't know if I want to leave my command center. I got a nice little setup of.
It is very nice. You can see everything in it. So anyway, thanks guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Let's see if Mark has a question for us, and we'll take this. Mark, you're going to be pulled up on stage. What's going on, buddy?
I'm here. So I sent you actually the question in DMs. I have a couple guys that are stuck in the office and can answer. And it's kind of been answered already, but I just want you guys to give a clarification so that when I send them the recording, they can kind of hear it. I kind of summarized it for them already, what I believe the answer would be. But what they said is they want to know what happened to all the projects that were supposed to launch months ago. Are they still waiting? And if yes, how many projects exactly are waiting, from the previous launch for Moonforce when we were back doing that.
Well, as you can imagine, the projects aren't going to sit around and wait forever, obviously, right? So, yes, we most likely have lost a few of those projects. There's some projects that really want to be on Swap 2.0, and they, at the time when we first started the conversations months ago, were really just going down the initial phases of developing and putting their projects together. So there's a grip of them that are still out there, that are still going to use our system, use Token Creator, and put some of this stuff live once we get everything finalized here. I want to say any minute, but that's probably the worst thing to say. It literally feels like it could be any minute at this point that we're wrapping up and we're pretty much ready to move forward. So a lot of the projects that were, wanting to get launched or live towards the beginning of the year, or even like February, March timeframe, some of those have already launched. I'd say a good grip of those launched already. There are a handful of them, though, that are still out there that are, I don't want to say they're holding on, because that sounds kind of weird, but they're very much wanting the tokenomics to be done the way that Swap 2.0 provides. To be, looking at it from a perspective of a developer, you don't want to be a developer with any sort of tokenomic buckets to fill and be dealing with the way that contracts are selling and driving down negative sell pressure into the project. So there's a very massive benefit for them to actually wait and give the project its best foot forward. And, we continue to help them. We've continued to consult with some of them and converse in different capacities and help them along the way in the meantime. So our goal is once everything's done, we work with them, and we've already been working with them. I know there's a lot of conversations. Sebastian
and some of our devs as well.
Yeah. And our devs are also working with them as well. Yeah. So it's not the same projects from 3, 4, 5 months ago, right before we got hacked, but it is good stuff. There are great projects that have evolved, I guess you could say. And we've even got projects that are recently coming in, which is good. So we've got projects that are ready to launch in the next couple weeks, in the next couple months. We've got projects that are looking, to do stuff at the beginning of the year. So we've got a pretty good runway full of, time frames there, but we haven't lost all of it. I know that seems to be a concern, and I can understand the concern, but I also want people to understand this is like poking a bear. Once we're done and we've got it out there and we go tell the world, I certainly expect to see a massive amount of influx of people that are going to be coming and knocking down the door to try to get a token put out there as soon as possible. So.
Yeah, and that's kind of exactly what I mentioned to them. So I appreciate that. I basically said, number one, we also projects that were built on, kind of the meme mentality that realize now that, that hype is over. And so them launching with no utility is never going to make them any money. So why the heck even continue? So, they kind of gave up and dwindled. And, there were a lot of, obviously, factors in the past 4 or 5 months that we've had to deal with the economy too, has made a lot of projects, where, maybe they've gone the fair launch method because they don't even want to spend that 2%, regarding, paying out tokens and different things like that. So no, that makes total sense that, they would, have only key utility ones that really have a strong backbone and, back utility to continue to move forward.
And I see a question out there about Cubics, the Cubics AMA and mini pets. I have been working with Devin to get some Cubics people on the line. Hasn't been the easiest thing, but we will very, very soon. I'm working on that follow up, and we'll get an AMA, whether it is with Cubics or if it's just us.
Yeah, we'll and scheduled. Just to kind of bring you guys up to speed on pretty much everything. We are a team of, I don't know, what is it, Eric, now 23, 24 people. Yeah. And we have what we call, I don't know if you guys recall going back to early July or late June. But we have a priorities list, and we do it all in sequence. We focus on it. You're seeing the fruit of that labor over the last couple of weeks. You're seeing the platform redesigns. You're seeing some of the difference making that it's going to provide us when it's the look and the feel and how people perceive Pye. These are all built in with catalysts, right? So I think I just talked a little bit about what our next step is a little bit ago. The next step after that is clearly going to be, marketing pixel, war room, or in this case, it's going to be the lab. But we'll be pushing these catalysts out one at a time, one after the other. They all have a massive impact on the future of the project. We all know that all the Pye holders are the biggest beneficiaries of all these various things that'll come out. And as we go through the sequence of things that we have ahead of us, we are going to continue to focus on those things in order, because that is what is working and that is what is getting us massive acceleration on things getting done, things coming out, things actually looking the way that we had originally intended everything to look. So we're seeing all these wins starting to happen. So when it comes to mini pads, it comes to Cubics, it comes to all of these other things, we do have communication with Cubics. We are in touch with them on questions they may have, things that they're looking at on their side. The one thing that we are doing right now is just more so fielding the questions with them, because that is not the highest of priority, mainly because it is something that we're relying on the time frame that it's going to take them to truly build that platform the way that we originally intended it to be built. It is not an overnight thing. I mean, people know that building a Roblox type platform is not going to happen in 3 months or 6 months. It can take a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of mocking up and a lot of changes, and things continuously will be happening with that project. But right now, our role that we're playing in it is not a day-to-day actively having to be hands-on with it, because we've turned over everything that they needed from us to get things started and get things moving. Now, we are obviously involved in some of the design aspects of it and what it looks like, the look and the feel, to make sure that they're on the right track. Those are things that once they're finalized, once those things are finalized and we've got a chance to really go through some of those things to complete the finalization of those with Cubics, then it makes total sense to get everybody on, and let you guys be able to ask more of those questions, because we'll be on to those stages where the questions will have already been answered and the infrastructure will have already been put in place. And that's really what we're planning to do. That's kind of what we're hoping to get to once Cubics gives us the final, hey, we're on to milestone 3 or whatever it is in the roadmap of their development phases. So we want to get to a point where we can start bringing it back into here, and we're starting to really kind of work through some of the things that are going to be the more finalization stages of the game itself. But at this time, we're kind of at their mercy. I know they've got 2 other games that were kind of ahead of us in priority, because those are things they had started prior to starting Mini Pets. There's actually a third one that I believe is supposed to be coming out or is coming out anytime now. So I know that their team, as great as they are and as much as experience that they've had, we don't want to, we had enough problems with our original team that was working on Mini Pets. And Eric and I have learned a very, very valuable lesson that, getting a external team or part of your external team or partnership with an external team, it's hit or miss. You might get 90% of the time you don't get the right team, and you waste 2, 3, 4, 5 months trying to get there with them, and then you kind of get to the realization that it's never going to ever be able to get to where you need it to be. And we've lived through that already, right, Eric?
That's right.
And so that's hence the reason we're with Cubics. but we also have to be at their time frame, unfortunately, because they're as good as they are. They're in high demand, and we're just going to do what needs to be done to get that catalyst ready for 2023. And as the time gets closer and we're getting able to get them in the phases where they are, in milestone, 3 or 4, I think will be a great time for us to get them on the phone and let you guys maybe ask some questions about the development side. And we'll actually have visible assets, digital assets, videos, and we're asking them to put together some sort of video. But again, we're at the mercy of as soon as they've got the ability to put some of that stuff together for us. And in some cases for them, it's the resource. It's having the resource to do it. Like I said, we're probably in line. They are working on it, and they kind of update us and tell us where they're at and that they're moving forward with different pieces of it. But we are not. We're gonna, as soon as this game gets dropped, I think, on their side, then I think there's going to be a lot more acceleration on it for mini pads.
I will take Mr. One more. Mr. Eric, we'll pull him up. There was a question about the exchange, I think is what Tuft had. I'll bring him up here. There you go, Tuft.
I had a few questions regarding Pye Swap.
Sure.
My first question was, will we ever have the ability to transfer Pye Swap or DT6 ecosystem tokens without taxes between each other?
So you're saying like transferring like a Pye token for an Apple token? So there's no transfer tax between.
Yeah. None of the Pye token or none of the reward tokens have a transfer tax on them. What exactly is the question?
Oh, I tried to swap between Peach for Pye, Pye to Apple.
Yeah. For that, each one will carry its own tax. Whether it's a buy or sell. If you're selling Apple, you'll get a tax on that. Buying Peach, you'll get a tax on that. So that type of swap, yes.
Okay, I was just thinking, it would benefit the community if one day we had the opportunity to just swap the DT6 tokens without any of those taxes, to kind of like just have different circles. If somebody wants to go higher in Peach, swap out additional Apple or additional Pye, kind of vice versa.
I do like the idea. Absolutely.
I mean, and doing that would require turning off, currently there is no buy tax on those tokens, but the sell tax would be required, which, we have said down the road as we push in. I know I saw your question, Tuck, about the exchanges, but as we push into other exchanges, there is that, vote that we mentioned when we did the merge about, voting to turn off the taxes for Pye. So that's where that would come from.
Yeah, and one of my questions was on the exchanges. If we enter some tokenomic exchanges, will we as holders be able to get BUSD reflections from the volume in the exchanges?
For the volume from different exchanges, like a pancake swap or something, is that what you're asking?
Volume like a pancake swap or Bitmart. If one day they still had it. I know for a while they provided reflections off of SafeMoon to the community. I didn't know if that was something that they could do for Pye as well.
It's definitely something we can talk to them about. Really, SafeMoon got in the sweet spot on that, and a lot of exchanges they're not supporting fees like that. Also, I mean, when we do anything outside Pye Swap, fees are taken out in the project tokens again. They're not taken out in that base token as they are in Pye Swap. So it makes it a little bit more difficult as we don't want to wind up selling those tokens on those markets in order to get that BUSD. So I really think Pye Swap is going to be the basis for those types of BUSD reflections.
Okay. I did have two other questions. Will we ever do I know how with Moonforce that we had certain, levels to obtain to get the prior approval for now, like Pye Labs. Will we ever do anything for like holding a certain amount of Pye for additional, if you hold 250,000, 500,000. Have we thought about trying to do any other tier incentives?
As far as like the Pi token or outside, absolutely. We talk about that type of thing. I don't think we have anything on the roadmap. So that's really a Bill question, and he had to step out for a different appointment. But that's something that G can get talk with Bill a little bit and get some of those specific answers for you on.
Excellent. And my last question was, are we ever going to have any burns?
Have any what?
Burns?
Absolutely. I think pretty much all the reward tokens, any of the buybacks are burns as we go. I know that I think we're doing monthly burns on the rewards, aren't we?
Yeah.
So absolutely, every month we'll have excess of Apple and Peach to burn off.
And Pi eventually, because I did see that it's deflationary on Pi Swap. It says deflationary token, so I wasn't sure how that was working out.
Yeah. So as far as Pi, there's without the fees on Pi or the different ways. See, with the reward tokens, things are minted in a way so that we can burn them. But Pi kind of is a little bit different. So I'm not sure how we're going to do as far as big burns on Pi goes.
Okay.
It's something we're just letting settle.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You got it.
Alrighty. Well, look, Pi Nation, I appreciate every single one of y'all showing out today. We want to always see you in here. We will catch you in the chats. We're going to wrap it up here now and get back into work. We will keep you updated at the end of the day with what we accomplished today. We'll do it again tomorrow and Thursday, and then we'll give you a nice little weekly recap as well at the end of the week. So look, thank every single one of you. Have a great Taco Tuesday, and we'll catch you next time.